Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Sports. And we go again. We go again as Bok fans because it is time for an historical clash. The first time ever the Springbok Women will take on a team in the quarterfinals of the Women's World Cup. And a big moment for these women who have really changed the game. They really have changed the game. And I can't overemphasize just how big this tournament has been for us, and to go and get a first ever quarterfinal is huge. But this is now the big stage, and we've had to a certain degree almost pack it down. We celebrated after Italy. There were tears, there were celebrations across the country, and we were ready and we were excited. But we now have to realize that we've got to get a little bit serious now because the job's not done. Until we step off that field for the last time of this World Cup, the job is not done. And I think that if there was ever a time to watch a match and take inspiration, it would have been this morning. Those women would have been there in the hotel watching that men's result, and they would have sit there saying, imagine we do it today. I mean, they are not supposed to win this match today. I looked at the betting odds, I think it was yesterday. I'll actually go find them and tell you exactly what they are. But we are not expected to win today. We are not. And that is because this is a Black Ferns side, which are one of the favorites to win the tournament. Alongside the likes of France, Canada, and England. They are expected to go all the way. And we were expected to get to the quarterfinals. I think those who've been watching South Africa Women's Rugby will sit there saying, there's something brewing here. We could potentially get a result. We might be able to get a quarterfinal. But that was supposed to be it. And I think that the main thing now is to sort of park that feeling and say, well, what's next? And that is showing up today and going toe-to-toe with the Black Ferns. And we've beaten the side, missing most of its players though, But the fact of the matter is we have beaten the Black Ferns. You've got to take confidence in that. You've got to sit there and think, well, we have beaten them before. We can beat them if we play well. You've got to have that kind of attitude. And I do believe it, in fairness. I do believe it. We have a 1 in 13 chance. That's what the bookies have given us, which is only slightly less than the 1 in 12 chance Australia's been given to win later. So that's kind of how much of, up against it we are going into this match. But if there's a nation that loves to defy the odds, it is South Africa. And Swayze de Bruin has got this team playing incredibly well. Where I do genuinely think that there's a certain amount of an unknown to this team because the question is what's going to win out. Likely the Black Ferns, but at the same time, play your game. We've got a really good pack. We've got a pack that can go toe-to-toe with the best teams in the world. And that is what we need to hang on. And then we've got to wait for our superstars to cook. We need a massive game. I mean, for Nolus Industry, boy, this could be your last game. But I'm looking at Aseza Hele, Nadine Roos, Libby Janssen van Rensburg, Apiwa Ngwevu in the centers. And Baranje Dolph. These are the women who can make a difference. These are the women who, if they pitch up and they play out of their socks, that gives us the best opportunity to get a result. Let me know where you're watching though, from people. I want to know, what are we feeling? How are we feeling as South Africans? Are we just along for the ride? Do we have expectations? Do we have the right to have expectations? Do we have the right to expect certain things? I think we do. I have the right to expect a team that's going to go out there and represent my nation and represent the country to the best of their abilities. That's my expectation. And what I want to see today is I want to see the 80-minute performance to the death. And that's all I'm wanting. All I want to see is an 80-minute performance. I want to see a team that is still fighting as hard in the 75th minute, despite the score that they were in the first minute. That's all I want to see. You give me that, and the entire South Africa will be proud. See, we're looking at one of the Super commenters later and saying they've decided to do what they do. I think that part, though, is done, though. we've accomplished what we wanted to accomplish, but now we need to still go out and put in a big performance. I don't like the attitude of, we've done what we needed to. We've done what we could. We've done what we tried. Whatever happens here, it doesn't matter. It does matter to a certain degree. I'm not expecting a win as we look at Sandy Park, which is looking absolutely flawless, by the way. What I am expecting, though, is a team to go out and give their all. And if they do that, happy days. Absolutely happy days. We're about to move into the national anthems, people. And then we will have kickoff. Please do smash a like on the video. Please do smash that subscribe button. Let's see. I mean, we're agonizingly close to getting to that 95,000 subscribers. So please do subscribe to the channel as well as we is about to head into the anthems. And when we get back, we will have kickoff. I want the score predictions as well. And let me know which of these teams you are supporting and how you kind of see this game going. But let's get into the national anthems, and when we're back, we will have kickoff. Right, there we go. The anthems finish, and we're about to receive the challenge from the Black Ferns, and then we will have kickoff. People, get me your score predictions. Let me know how we're feeling. Earlier, Ganesha Adam saying, from South Africa, support New Zealand rugby. And we will have kickoff very, very shortly. And finally, the Women's Rugby World Cup quarterfinals are here. It's been a long tournament. Been going for the last month or so, and I don't think too many people thought that a year ago, we were going to see a South Africa side in the quarterfinals. But that is indeed what we have got this evening, and they've an immense task. They're up against it at the end of the day. Playing in the white kit, by the way, so because of obviously the World Rugby regulations, we will not be playing in the green and gold. And this will be the same thing in the men's game if this happens in the next World Cup. So the only reason that we get to play in the green and gold, like this morning, for example, is the fact that rugby and Sanzar is a separate entity and don't actually have to necessarily abide by the World Rugby regulation when it comes to kit clashes and the likes of that. Therefore, we were allowed to have our green and black clashes this morning, but unfortunately in the World Cup we can't have our green and gold because there is a clash with the black due to colour deficiency. And Taman Fish and Chips says, back again for good rugby. I think we are going to see some good rugby, and I'm just so excited to see what our girls can do. And just shout out because they've really given so many people so much enjoyment over the last month, and I think they have inspired genuinely a next generation, because now there's people that believe, well, why can't I become a Springbok if I'm born? Little girls out there are aspiring to become World Cups and the likes of that. And there it is. We've got to the challenge has been laid down, and they're standing there. They're not moving. Springbok Women also unmoved, and now they go to the bench to go and sort things out. It is a very, very large Springbok Women size. And Oscar, I don't know who Oscar is, but he's delivering the match ball. And yeah, it's gonna be the skill and the finesse really of the Black Ferns versus the brutality of the Springbok Women. And the biggest problem, I think, is the fact that the conditions look very good, and they look very good for running rugby, and that is going to play into the hands of the Black Ferns. Whereas if you look at the Springboks, they would have really liked wet conditions, knock-ons, nice tight physical game, because that is what we've got. And Swayster Brain basically saying that they expected to play the way they are, and that's why they've gone with the 7-1 split. He said that they're expecting them to move the South African pack around because they know they can't cope with them. As a result, they've gone with 7 forwards on the bench, so they can basically swap out that pack if need be, and continue that sort of pressure that they're aiming to exert from set piece. So those are some of the tactical battles that we're potentially going to go and see for the Black Ferns. Watch out for the likes of Mariah Joseph, Rui Demont as well at flower half, very talented player there. If you look at even Stacey Waka at 13 for the Black Ferns, having a solid tournament so far from what I've seen of her. And for the South African women, you look at Babao Lacha, very incredibly good scrummager, plays rugby overseas. You've got a Azila Hele, powerful runner in the number 8 jersey, and then your halfback combination of Nadine Ruiz and Libby Janssen from Rensburg is big as well. And they're going to have a big game. But I think for me, again, it all comes down to this pack. It all comes down to that front row and what they can potentially offer. People, please do smash a like on the video. I'm enjoying the patriotism in the predictions, saying they reckon the Springbok Women are going to win. Heart says Boks, mine says Black Ferns, but at the end of the day, it's playoff rugby. And who knows, maybe the Black Ferns have an off day and we can take that opportunity. I do think it's very important for us to start well. Gotta start well. And if we can start well and we can get that sort of going, then maybe we have a chance. Sarah Cox, the best for you today from England. Ella Goldsmith from Australia, and Kat Roche from the USA are the 2 assistants. And sold out, by the way, Sandy Park. And we do have kickoff as Libby Janssen van Rensburg goes down the center of the park and running straight into contact. In fact, trying to run around contact and already getting those offloads away. And already knock on advantage for the Springbok Women. And that was Georgia Miller who wanted to keep going all for the kickoff already. Now coming to carry, they're coming from Danielle Lochner. Kuala now. Clean ball here from Nadine Lewis in the number 9 jersey. Back to Lochner. Very hard working. Very Franco Mostert-esque until she just gets around the park. And Guala loses the ball forward, but no advantage to go back for the first scrum, which is exactly what we want. We could not have asked for a better start in terms of having a nice early scrum. Let's get into it. Let's start peppering this All Blacks pack. They wanted an early scrum. They've got an early scrum. Let's see if we can try and find an early penalty, for example. Maybe take the 3 points. Put ourselves ahead. Watch out for Lacha versus Vilico. That will be a nice battle here on the close side that we can see Nadine Lewis on the other side there. And the big thing that the Springbok Women have done throughout the tournament is that they've attacked incredibly well off set piece. They've had... That's what Westerbrain does. He's an attack coach at the end of the day. He knows exactly how to open up gaps, and that's a nice solid scrum. And they go on the left-hand side. Looked a bit messy. They've actually kept it in here. Looking for the more here. Cheap as me. Look at that. Ball still going. Where is the ball is the question. Once is the call. Now comes the penalty advantage. And you can see Lacha asking about that. Springbok Women with the penalty advantage. And the penalty does come. There it is. There it is. Go to the corner. Go to the corner. Go to the corner. It's exactly what Janssen van Rensburg is going to do. There we go. That's the perfect start. Scrum. Unfortunately, they kind of panned out just before it happened. It looked like, I think it was a pick up and go off the back from Asizehele. And then almost sort of formed the more, which managed to get another about 10, 15 meters. And then eventually stopped. And then there was the advantage of coming in from the side. So on the 5 meter, Westerbrain on his feet. You can barely watch. Alan Bunting on the left-hand side looking a bit more calm. He's been a 3-man line. Two women line up there. To Rus. Front foot ball. I think they're looking to try to set up a maul, actually, to be honest, off the back half. They're listening to say, boy. 5 meters out here are the Springbok Women, though. Going for the pick up and drive. They're going to keep this nice and tight. Coming around the corner is Guala. And that's Ngwevu, and that's the big thing. I mean, you've got an inside center in the form of Apio Ngwevu, and she loves getting involved. Loves the pick up and go. And there's the big carry coming from Hele. And penalty for the women Boks. We'll go back and do that again and again and again. Power from Hele, power from Ngwevu. We're looking at the tap and go potentially here. Again, probably have a bit of a set move. Nice solid start though. I mean, imagine we score first. Come on. It says they're Hele getting some treatment. Right, having a conversation here. What's the chat? A scrum maybe? I'll take a scrum. Why not? Take a scrum. You've got the best scrum in the competition. You might as well use it. All else tap and go. Looks from the likes of it. Nadine Rus, 7 star. Not a South because 7 stars, a 7 star on the circuit. One of the best. Lochner, big tackle on her. Well read from the Black Ferns. And then knocked on. You spend all that time and then you do that. Should have gone with the scrum. Should have gone with the scrum. They targeted Lochner and then just miscommunication who's actually taking it. Knocked on by Sanalisa Charlie. The Lou said it left it behind, and then boy, the captain couldn't grab it. Right, scrum, yep. Come, big effort, big effort, big effort. Put them under pressure. So far, it's been all South Africa in the first 5 minutes. Penalty. Well, it's gone down. I wouldn't mind that if I was the Springbok Women scrum. I think that they've been paying for collapse to the scrum, but I think that All Black scrum was under pressure. The Black Ferns scrum rather was under pressure there. But still not outside, just outside of 22 though. So still deep in their own half here, the Black Ferns. Got to keep them under pressure, taking it quickly. Well, jeepers, I think obviously there's a bit of a delay in the broadcasting because all of a sudden they're long pass out wide. Good tackle, very good tackle, and Dolph gets on them. Big carry they're coming from, and that's big hits here. There, Pasombi. Now Demat goes to the boot. Turn and burn here comes from Ayana Malinga. She's got plenty of pace. Malinga shows and goes, almost gets through. Ball available for Ruiz. Guala goes to South. Lever is the call. Livias van Rensburg. Wasn't quite expecting that, but takes it anyway. Does Makuchula. Now Gwevu on the angle. Sucks in 2. Good defense so far from the Black Ferns. 5 phases from the Springbok Women. Libby Jans van Rensburg. Bit of a hospital pass there, really, to Hele, who does well to hold on to it. Going backwards at the moment. Just takes the hit there, does Boy, the captain. Nice angle. That's a nice big hit there coming from Ngwevu. Fighting hard in the tackle. She always gets over the advantage line. Now with a space here for Libby Jans van Rensburg. Space. Play the hands. Straight through the middle. Ball back inside. Just short of the 22. I don't think it was any release there whatsoever. Big penalty being won by Portia Woodman Wycliffe. But a nice run on the side there by Solonsi. Inside ball back into Michaela Saboya. And look at how quickly Demat wants to try and take this. They really want to try and speed this play up. Good line there from the Black Ferns. Now kicking behind. Looks like it's going to get too much. Lots of work here to be done. Goes to South. Not sure it's the right thing. Thankfully, Lochner is there. Doesn't cope well. Nice carry there from Hele. Under the pressure back at 9:22. The left-hand side. Libby. Soft hands now. Soft hands. And Solonsi finds a bit of space. Look at the pace from Solonsi. Goes herself up to the 10-meter line. Very nicely worked. Ruiz flat. Well taken. And penalty for the Springbok Women. This is nice. This is nice. Going into the game. Going to the line there. Libby Jans van Rensburg. South Africa have made the most carries of any team at Rugby World Cup, 494, whilst they made the most carry meters with almost 3,800. So, interesting. They carry, they're far more efficient with their carries, but we're willing to do the work. Guala. And they pick up Dolph for thing. I mean, that's a fullback, by the way, that's just gone up. And the entire team is in this maul, by the way. That's a 15-man maul. Well, 15-woman maul. And it edges forward. This is mental. Sways to brain. What have you got? And there's the penalty advantage. And there's the penalty. Sways to brain. You absolutely rock my world. I cannot believe what I've just seen. The entire team was in there at a stage. They lifted Dolph, the fullback, for the lineout. Won the penalty. Now they got a bit of a break and play with an injury, and and further up they'll go. This is what we talk about: the fact that you don't necessarily have. You can't play the Black Ferns at their game. You're not going to beat them at their game. What you can, however, do is outsmart them, and you can outsmart them through coaching and ideas, and that's the Sways to brain plan here. He's cooked up a few things that he's thinking, right, well, what if we try this? What if we try that? And, well, so far, after 10 minutes, it's 0-0, but Springbok Women have definitely been the more dominant side. Libby from Rensburg finds touch, into the 22 they go. What have we got now? What else have we got cooking? What has he got up his sleeve? Taman says we have to push though. Derpes saying, love the tactics. Ball over the top, straight to Libby van Rensburg. An inside ball would have been on to Hele, but she decided to go self. That's off her feet and another penalty. Thank you very much. Quickly taken here from Naden Nuis. Pops it up to Boy. 5 meters out. Pick up and go. Nice work that. Guala now. Pick up and go. Bit more intent from her. Good to see. Tackle. Knock on apparently at the rack. So close. All the pressure we've got. This is feeling a bit like the men's team at the moment, with all the pressure, all the field territory, but no points yet to speak of. It's a great line over the top. I do think that inside ball should have come to Hele. She was through as well. That could have been very, very interesting. That was the plan. You can see straight to her, and Hele wants it. She ends up going herself to Libby van Rensburg. And I do have some news for you, but we have officially hit 95,000 subscribers on the road to 100,000. We have hit 95,000. And goes to touch, does a Demet. Actually, it'll bounce, and Dolph had to go back and retrieve it. Right, Dolph with a bit of space. She's got a nice little step on her as well. Let's see what she can conjure up here. Weaving in and out. Oh, Jeepers runs with a couple of forwards. Takes the contact well. Ball is available, though. Libby van Rensburg goes short. Latcher. Now, Boy, the captain. Nice carry from her. Back to Guala. Oh, they're offside, Mr. Ref. They're offside. Solonsi, she's been really good in the carry. And she sets somebody down. Not the best pass, but picks up and goes. There's Charlie. Presents well, though, for Nadine Ruiz. Latcher with nice soft hands. Libby van Rensburg. Space out wide. Not really much getting out of advantage at the moment. Poopa goes into contact. Latcher takes a couple of them to bring them down. Again, looking very offside at the offside line, if you ask me. Guala now. Still think that they were inside in front of that offside line. Latcher now. Straight to get over the advantage line. I still think that at the moment, I mean, Libby has for Rensburg. Little chip over the top. That's a nice variation. Can't quite hold on to it from Michaela Samboy. It's not really the right sort of chip there from Libby. I think the chip was a good idea, but just slightly too wide. Just need to go almost straight over the top. Almost sort of chip and chase. Good defense there from the Black Ferns, though. Springbok Women, though. Keeping possession, going through the phases, but just can't really find go for ball. Right, and feeds this Will Ponsobi. Good take. And down from Bremer. Kick down the middle. Into the hands of Dolph. Right, what could she conjure up here? Good tackle on the halfway line, but ball is available there for Nadine Ruiz. Again, I still think they're offside here. Referee back to the game. Sisters need to get involved here. Boy now. Good tackle. Spinning in the tackle. Now there's Ngwevu. Nice solid carry from her. Penalty advantage once again. Latcher. And I hope the penalty advantage is for offside. Chip over the top from Eddie Lewis, and they've been charged down because, again, they're not onside. It's getting a little ridiculous now. Livias Fernandes does find touch. Let's just keep this going, ladies. Keep this going. Up to 16 minutes on the clock. 90% ball possession. I wouldn't have picked that stat. Would not have picked that stat at all. But let's keep going. Let's keep this going. But now make it count, though. 9% possession and having no points is not a great stat. No, Nadine Ruiz. Libby Jatsman Rensburg. Skip pass there. To Dolph on the angle. Dolph slightly too close, I think, really, to Mpupa. Hands, and Dolph almost finds a half gap. Gets Dolph that away as well. To Solonsi, who gets away from one. Still go with Solonsi. She's had a bloody good game so far. Penalty advantage once again. Thank you very much. Checks the run. Does very well. Libby from Rensburg. Ngwevu goes to South. Libby from Rensburg pops it up. She goes to South. Almost gets through. Still playing penalty advantage. 6 phases so far from the Springbok Women. Pick up and go from Ngwevu. Just shy of the 22. We go back for the penalty. Can we see a card? Surely we're at card stages here. How many penalties are we going to let them have? Is she going to a card, actually? I don't know if we're having a look here or something, but I mean, discipline-wise. Seven penalties. 7. At least a warning or something. Just a break and play here, before we do resume. Good kick that. And Gwala comes here to receive it. Let's see what we can conjure up here. Messy, but it does come back to Nadine Lewis eventually. She gives away to Helen. Now put your head down, off you go. I says the head. They say it's a good turnover. There wasn't a advantage. Go back for the scrum. Let's scrum. Let's scrum. Let's scrum. Let's scrum. Let's scrum. Right, come. Scrum inside the 22. Set move with the back here. Surely we've got something we can conjure up. And there comes the scrum. Keep trying to keep it in. Headleg's gonna go down the corner. And once again, they're looking for that maul. Ball's gone down, is available. This time doesn't work. It's Lonsi. Once again, finding meters. Pick up and go around the corner from Gwala. Pick up and go. Almost to Lacha. He's just short. Patience needed. Another pick up and go. Another pick up and go. Keeping it tight here, the Springbok Women. And they've got it. Come on! Try number 1. There it is. Here we go. First try, and it's Babala Lacha. She's played here before. She plays in the Premiership. You can't withstand that kind of pressure. She does so well initially not to reach. They recycle, and then she picks up and goes. And just too strong, and then over she crashes. The perfect start. Hashtag dare to dream. Dare to dream. Right, kick here from Boundary Dolph. Important to try and go 7-0 up here. And it needs to come back. It's got the distance, doesn't have the distance. Not her best kick from Dolph. So important there to come away with some points after that kind of pressure. Because the longer you put them under pressure but don't score, then the more you start to doubt yourself. But to get that try is a big confidence booster. All of a sudden, you start thinking, well, you know what? Actually, we can go toe-to-toe here. We can actually have a bit of a go. Nice taken off the back of the kickoff. And lock on, and it'll be a Black Ferns scrum. Frustrating that. Mistake off the back of the kickoff. Not ideal. But a big scrum needed, Chad. Let's see if we can maybe bail ourselves out with our scrum. Look at the scrum coming there from the Springbok Women. The pressure there, but it's eventually available. Now, big tackle needed. Looking to try and rip the tackle. Nadine Lewis and Libias van Rensburg. Now the Roost, the New Zealand Roost, there's a Roost in each team actually. Lochner standing up well with the tackle. Nicely done. Pressure now though on the Springbok Women though. Show and go coming from Roos. Maybe Roos for the New Zealand one and Roos. And then they're swinging out wide and not a good pass out wide to Georgia Miller. Will go out for a line out. And again, that'll do the Springbok Women a lot of good. A lot of confidence to have had the defensive set play and cope with it. Cope with it is the main thing. Guala now waiting for another injury before we get underway. If the cross come to hand, it would have been 1-on-1, and it could have been 50-50. But it didn't, and we got a line out. Looking really, really positive so far. The break and play. You've had too many. Well, actually, to be fair, the breaks and play kind of suit us, in all honesty. So, not going to complain about that by any means. Right, time going on, says the referee. Ball over the top, though. That's not what we needed at all. And back on the front foot. And 5 meters out. Good take there by Olsen Baker. And over they go. They might have to have a look at the ground here for Miller. But that was off our line out. Ball over the top. Dreadful line out. And New Zealand might have hit back here. They're going upstairs to have a look at the grounding. So the on-field decision is no try. They reckon the potential knockdown, potential separation. We'll take that. We'll take that any day. I think it's... She's short. And then loses it forward. And then, yeah, she's short there. Then Miller picks it up. But the question is, are they going to say this is forward? Or has it gone backwards? This is the big question here. I think that's forward. I think that's going to be ruled out. I think that should be ruled out. Springbok Women living dangerously at the moment, but potentially still living. Five-meter scrum, knock on in the play. Come on! We continue to lead. Let's keep this going. Let's keep this going. Taman Fisher Chips says, any thoughts on Greekers versus Cheetahs? I think it should be the Cheetahs. Maybe the Greekers put in all time. As far as I'm concerned, the only match that matters after this is the Lions. Up against Bull Cavaliers. And at Ellis Park, the Lions should cook. And if they win, it means I'm off to Ellis next weekend. Time to go watch the Buggers win a trophy. I've never watched the Lions lift a trophy. Never. To the left hand side and under pressure here. That's one of the worst tries I've ever seen conceded. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. That is awful. That really, really is poor. That is appalling. It really is. I actually can't believe how that just happened. Libby Janssen van Rensburg has been charged down inside her own thing. It's gone straight to hand, and over they go. I mean, that is... it's comical, really. And it's gone left. So it'll remain at 5-5. Too long, too long, too long. Big mistake, that. Big mistake. And now the scores are even. Look, to be fair, if you told me half an hour ago that the scores would be even at this stage of the game, I would take it. I would 100% take it, but that's just a really soft try to concede. Go and reset into Miller. Georgia Miller, cheapest. What a talent she is. Now, Dolphin underneath it. What can she conjure up? Silky runner when she gets into it. Gets away from one. Until the halfway line. Worse now. Goes to Libby Janssen van Rensburg. Goes short. Boy caught on the ball. Inside ball, though. And, you know, guys, you actually have to ruck. Quickly taken here from the Black Ferns. And ball in behind. Has to go back to Malinga. She's got a bit of time. And Dolph. Oh dear, she's got herself in all sorts of trouble. Kick it, man. And now she's carried over for a 5-meter scrum. Stuff like that. Decision making, decision making, decision making. Five-meter scrum now for Black Ferns. We need a big scrum, yeah. We need a really big scrum. To the right-hand side. Running the hands. Nobody out wide and into the corner. And a bit of touch rugby from Malinga means that they're going to have a better kick. I mean, talk about self-implosion here in the last few minutes. Really poor try to concede. And then this, again, all you're doing is you're compounding the mistakes they made. It's frustrating. So down we go. Look, it's always going to happen at some stage. It's about the response now. Renee Holmes, kicking duties for Black Ferns. That's an awful kick, to be honest, and it goes to the right-hand side. So it'll remain 10 points to 5. So the converge try will put us back in front. Well, it's important, yeah. How do we respond? How do we respond? That's the big thing here. Back down the centre goes. No, side to the right this time. Trying to avoid Georgie Miller, who eventually does get the ball. Now to the right-hand side, they've got numbers. Need to try and shift. Need to shift. Ball back aside, and that's knock on. So back to the scrum. Here we go. Good work. Good defense. Now let's have a big scrum. We've got 10 minutes left in the first half. Kiwi Express saying go New Zealand. A couple of new subscribers coming in as well. As mentioned, we are officially over the 95,000 mark, which means now it is a downhill road to that 100,000 subscriber mark. The plan was always beginning of this year, to try and get to that 100,000. I think we can do it by the end of the Rugby Championship, in all honesty, if we really get you guys going. Still got 2 games for that. 4th of October, maybe that's D-Day. Otherwise, we've got the end of year tour to try and make sure we get there as well. So it's exciting times over here. Gonna need a big scrum. There it is. There it starts to come. No penalty advantage. It's a good scrum. Ruiz goes to Ngwevu. Almost through goes Ngwevu. Quick ball here. Here comes Lochner. Nice carry around the back. Neruri goes to himself. Tips over the tackle. Into the 22. Pick up and go. This time's Hele. It's actually Ngwevu again. Cheap as her work rate's good. Pick up and go from Guala. And another... What? I'm trying to work out what this calls for. It's not going... Foul play. Are they saying it's a crook roll? Good to the line, that Black Ferns still deep inside their own half. And lost it forward. Kansas, the Springbok Women counter. Libby Jans van Rensburg. Knock on advantage. And we'll go back for the scrum. We keep getting a first shove in the scrum. We just got to try and get that penalty now, though. Some big hits, though. There's some big hits out there. Dolph getting a bit of treatment, getting some ice on that shoulder. Another break in play as we wait for a couple of injuries to sort themselves out. During half time, by the way, if you'd like to go, we've got the Rusty Erasmus press conference live on the channel. So if you'd like to go see, he's got a beer in his hand. And deserved beer in hand from Rusty Erasmus throughout the entire press. It sits there on the table. What a lad. What a lad. Once again, slight shove. Just keep it in. Just keep it in. Have a go. Have a go. Breaks on the side as Hele goes. Libby van Rensburg. Fumble. That's an awful pass. You know, we were really accurate in the first few minutes. Now getting really sloppy. 6 minutes left till half time. And yeah, look, is it? I'll take the scoreline at half time. I'm just frustrated. I think we could have had more here. We could have more here. HIA, potential sub over here. So we got a substitution here for the Black Ferns. Looks like Letaliega is going to come on. Yeah. Letaliega on for City Final. Coming into the centres there. Teresa City Finals off to an HIA. Big shove here. 5 minutes left. You need a little penalty, go to the corner. Try and get a try for half time. That would be ideal. It's a good scrum, and they do manage to get it out there, Black Ferns. Goes in behind here to Stacey Walker. Dolph goes back to retrieve. Takes the safe option, goes to the boot. All right, Black Ferns line out on the 10-meter line. Quickly done. They're really trying to up the ante here, the Black Ferns, trying to really move this Springbok Women pack around. And knock on. Handling's been poor in this first half. We'll go back for the scrum. Here we go. 4 minutes left. Scrum. Penalty. Kick first. Another penalty. Kick. Keep going. If you can just get some points at the board for half time, then we're still in this. Still in this. Have yet to really have that scrum penalty. But we've had dominance. We've had dominance. Look good, but haven't had the scrum penalty yet. Gone down the other side. Come on, reward them. All Blacks, so Black Ferns side can't cope with the scrum. Give them the penalty. Reward them. Two and a half minutes left on the clock in the first half. 5 points the difference. A converted try, we'd actually go in with the lead. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves, but that isn't the cards. Now, come on, it's just you gotta get control here, ref. We can't be having resets every single time just because they can't take on the hit. Well, then penalize them. You literally said, can't have you take a step back. Well, then penalize them. Penalize them. They're not going to take it, then they must get penalized. There it is. There's the penalty advantage, finally. Libya from Rensburg. Impufa. Good carry from her. Now Spain, and they've all flown away, left behind by Nguevu, but picked up by Salonsi. She's been so good this half. Playing with penalty advantage, our Springbok Women. Russ sees a bit of space, goes to the boot. And they'll go back for the penalty. Good work that from the scrum. Now to the corner they go. Good touch finding that from Libby Jans van Rensburg. She's going about 30 meters out. 20 seconds left. This will be the last play of the half. I tell you what, find some points. If they could find a try here, go in evens, then what a confidence booster that would be. They lifted up Nadine Roos of all people. I mean, they literally just lifted the shortest person on the team. And once again, here's the 15-woman lineup a bit more. And it's on the move. It is on the move. Penalty advantage. Trying to feed it all the way back, and now she goes by herself, but she's completely isolated, Charlie. Pick up and go here. By Boy. Another pick up and go. That's better. That's better. Another pick up and go. Nguevu now in the trenches, where she loves to operate. Now Guala. Edging closer. 5 meters out. Lochner. Keep it nice and tight. Keep it nice and tight. 11 phases so far. Still playing with penalty advantage. Libby Jans van Rensburg starting to get a bit of distance. Another pick up and go. Just meter by meter, they're edging forward. Come on, man. That's a nice carry there. Latch up. And Nguevu's over. Come on. Come on. There it is. Level at halftime, at least. Kick to come. Swayster Brain, are you cooking something here? Are you cooking something here? A 15-player more, penalty advantage. Run the phases and just, it's the physicality. It's the physicality. F them up physically. Come on, Dob. This is a big kick. She struck it just, this time she got the distance, but it just creeps to the left. Right, half time, 10 points apiece. Wouldn't have predicted this. Would not have predicted that. And the confidence the Springbok Women will have going, imagine they do it. Oh my goodness, I'll have to go and get drunk. People, see you very shortly after the break. Please do not go away. Please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel. We are moving into half time, and we'll see you in a bit.
Far responsible.
Right, we're back at Exeter, and they go short off the line. They do win it back to the All Blacks. The Black Ferns, rather, perfect start to them of the second half. Things level, 10 points apiece. What a first half it was. The Springbok Women to start off so well, then have a really poor sort of 10-minute period, come back and finish the game so well. But this could be the perfect start of the Black Ferns. Still going, just short. And they're spaced out wide. They run the hands. They're 5 meters out to the Black Ferns. Still spaced out wide. Yeah. And over. Such defense. That is such defense. You've got defense. Really, really. After all the work to get yourself back level before half time, you see you try something like that is very frustrating from the point of view. Not to start you want it. Not to start you want it at all. Straight through the defense into the corner, so not going to be using the version of this. This is what we're seeing, it's the pace, skill set of the Black Ferns versus, again, as you mentioned earlier, the physicality of the Boks. Work to do. We have to take the game at the moment because small moments. Yeah. Tempo that ready. They just not ready for that at all. So 50 points to 10. Then we have to remember it goes down the middle of the park. As well. Big tackle coming from the centre headed. All over the top of the space otherwise. Almost comes down, makes the tackle. It's a poor pass. And it's a very good tackle as well. Makes the read, comes inside, puts the pressure on, and they force a mistake. They've got a line out. Very unimpressed looking straight to Brain on the side. Pressure there. And turn it over, you have Black Ferns. Now they're shifting out wide. See all the space needs to shift here. There's space. There's lots of space. And heading is going on a bicycle. Good tackle, good tackle. Ball comes back inside. They've scrambled well so far. Offside penalty here for the Black Ferns. Space out wide again. And ball back inside. Try number 2. And this was the worry. when they start to run, when they get the hands going.
What you want? Let's have a bit of fun till I down.
They become so difficult to contain.
My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love.
An open game, that goes to Terrence Cobb. You've got to try and keep this tight. Have to. It's not even consideration. You've got to keep this tight. We've got any chance, so yes, we've got 10 points back. We have to keep it tight.
You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
All the way back. And having to clean up here. And ball to the left-hand side now. And again, running out of the 22. So, this is the big thing about Black Ferns. Keeping the ball in hand. And it's a big shot. And this is the problem. And they've got a space once again. Nadine Ruiz gets back and makes the tackle. And she's over the ball as well. Now chip over the top. And no one is back. This needs to stay in. This needs to go out. This needs to go out. This needs to go out. Or else it's going to be try number 3. They're just short. Picks up and goes. Malinga needs to try and hold her up here. And there's so many players back on the angle. Over. And there it is. Can't let it go. Get open like this. As soon as it gets open, they're going to pick us apart. And that's exactly what's starting to happen. They're picking us apart far too easily. That is 3 tries in 6 minutes. Your entire World Cup campaign has just fallen apart in 7 minutes. 7 minutes. Because you can't miss tackles like that. Right, 7 tries so far. Still no conversions.